There's 52 Sundays of learning about faith, and God gave us His word all year long. So the daily challenge of our faith journey is finding the ways to trust His plan. Here's how: believing in Jesus for our salvation, trusting in God's word every day, relying on the Spirit for His guidance. God's perfection shows the way. Science can be helpful, but it is made by men, and people sometimes get things wrong. From the shape of the earth to how our bodies work, but God's wisdom is so strong. As you can see, there's a whole lot of stuff to learn about God and His word. So stick with God, 'cause He never breaks His promises to us. So stick with God, 'cause we will always stand firm in His unfailing love. Mom, Faith and Physics are doing a science experiment.
Oh dear, it's hot. I can't seem to find my way. Where's that well when I need water? When I need it?
Dr. Sprocket, your struggle reminds me of Hagar. She was lost and alone in the desert, but God saw her and provided for her needs. He even led her to a well of water. So in today's experiment, we're going to have a white paper, and your teacher is going to write something on it. We're going to dip it into the bucket. Do you see? God sees you. Even when you're struggling, God sees you. So, let's watch a video.
Long time passed, and Abraham and Sarah did not have any children as God had promised them. Sarah was impatient, and so she sent her maid Hagar to Abraham and said, "Have a baby with Hagar, and if she has a son, we can raise him as ours." Hagar and Abraham had a baby boy and named him Ishmael, but he was not a part of God's plan. Few days later after this, Sarah had a son, just as God promised, and she named him Isaac, which means laughter. Remember, Sarah had laughed when God said that she would have a baby. Once Isaac was born, Sarah became jealous of Hagar and her son. One day, Abraham threw a party for young Isaac, where Sarah heard Ishmael making fun of Isaac. She was very angry. "Send Hagar and her son away," she told Abraham. "I don't want Ishmael to share my Isaac's inheritance." This made Abraham very upset. Ishmael was his son too. God told Abraham that it's okay to send Hagar and Ishmael away.
Isaac is the promised son.
God said,
But I promise to watch over Hagar and Ishmael, and even build a nation from Ishmael's descendants, because he is your son too.
Next day, Abraham got up early in the morning and gathered food and water for Hagar to take as she and Ishmael left. He was sad to send them away. Hagar and Ishmael wandered for days and had nowhere to go. Soon, the water they had brought ran out. Hagar left Ishmael sitting in the shade of the bush and walked a short distance away from him and sat down and thought to herself, "I can't stand and watch my son die." And tears rolled down her face. Meanwhile, Ishmael was crying, and God heard him. God's angel came to Hagar and said,
Don't be afraid, Hagar. God has heard your son's cries and promises to make him into a great nation. Go and comfort your little boy.
The angel vanished. Suddenly, a well appeared in front of Hagar, full of water. She filled the jar and gave Ishmael a drink. Years passed, and Ishmael grew up to become a strong, young man, and he married an Egyptian woman.
God always sees you and He cares about you, just like he saw and cared for Hagar. So, until next time, little scientists, bye!
Sure.